Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. Tonight's blunt talk. This way we don't have to worry about our language parameters. I don't think I'm going to get too colorful tonight anyway, though.
Yeah, we did already earlier.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we've made up for our colorful vernacular,
Yes.
but we're good. It's all
Absolutely.
good. So yeah, but tonight's going to be an interesting show. What do you think about that 27 Club, huh?
I just couldn't believe it when I saw the names. I was like, and it's gonna
So
be growing.
many. You're going to see them on our screen tonight. They're going to roll up on our screen. A lot of them.
The sad part
A
about it is gonna
lot.
continue to grow
Every day.
every single day.
Every day. You know why?
Right?
Because people don't learn. That's
They
why.
don't.
They
They
just don't learn.
yeah.
And sometimes you got to have a tragedy to appreciate how great life is.
Yeah.
Sadly, though, in the music business and in the art community, tragedy is becoming a
Hmm.
commonplace. They're dropping like flies.
They are. It's so sad too because they don't get
Dropping
to
like
enjoy it.
flies, you know?
Hmm.
Harry Chapin almost became a member of the 27 Club. He was 28.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think it was 20. I'll tell you in a second.
Wow.
Hold on a minute.
That is so sad.
How old is he? Let me find out. I'm going to find out
Hmm.
here for a second. I'll
Yeah.
find it because I know he almost made it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he sure did. He almost made it.
Hmm.
Okay, hold on a second here. Um,
Hmm.
no, he was. Wow, was he that old? Wow, he was almost 40.
What?
What the hell was I reading?
Wow.
Wow. Or maybe it was Oh no, wrong guy.
Hmm.
Wrong guy. Jim Croce.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he was younger.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's strange though.
Hmm.
Um, I had read someplace that Harry Chapin,
Hmm.
but they got the wrong 20. Maybe they meant 38, but not 28.
I found it interesting that all these people at this young of age, I mean, just pretty much at the start of their career, a lot of them at the height of their career is what they
Amy
call it.
Winehouse. We're going to talk about her.
Hmm.
I'm going to talk about her for a few minutes tonight. There's a couple people. We're
Hmm.
going to talk about Bon Scott,
Right.
John Bonham. We're going to talk
Uh-huh.
about them. Are you ready
Yeah.
to do this? You want to
Let's
go
do
live?
this.
Well, we are live, but let's go ahead and for
uh,
people tuning in their radio, let's do it.
right.
All right, what am I missing? Oh, we're just now hitting 7 o'clock. You realize it won't let me hit this button before 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just now exactly 7 o'clock. So watch this. Ready?
Ready.
Look.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's Tuesday night. No,
Monday
it's
night.
not. It's Monday night. What? This is what happens when, after years of doing a show
Mm-hmm.
on a particular night, your
Right.
brain says, "Okay, it's Tuesday." No, it's
Mhm.
not. It's
No.
fucking Monday. Let's try this again. It's Monday night. Amelia Pitbull Chapman. What does that mean?
It is actually Blunt Talk night.
It's blunt talk night.
Radio.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
It is Blunt Talk tonight. Blunt Talk Radio is on the air tonight, along with Pitbull.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, did you see the little thing I made for you today? Did you see the
I
little artwork?
loved it. I loved it.
Yes, that's going to be your birthday card. Um, I made Amelia a little card today that said, how did it say? It
I
said,
am loyal and I am also overprotective and
yeah, but it said something about oh, what breed of dog are you? Amelia, you're a pit bull.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one out there of me floating around somewhere.
I loved yours too, though.
Yeah. Well, tonight is Blunt Talk Radio, and it's let's see what time it is. 7 o'clock on the East Coast, 6 o'clock in Chicago, 4 o'clock in L.A., Los Angeles, the home of WrestleMania last night. Speaking of wrestling, sad news from the world of professional wrestling. One half of the Bushwhackers, Butch Whacker Luke, passed away. Bob Miller died at his home, I believe, today. Amelia, was that?
Yes.
He died today.
Mm-hmm.
We send our condolences out to the family of Bushwhacker Luke, Bob Miller, wherever I'm sorry, Bushwhacker Butch. Oh my God, forgive me. Wow.
Until we meet again.
Till we meet again, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if my brain keeps up like this,
I think it's because you watch WrestleMania again for the first time in years.
I did in years, like 7, 8 years. I watched WrestleMania. Before I tell you what, before we talk about our subject tonight, let's talk a little bit about wrestling. Go back to our wrestling roots. I watched WrestleMania last night. Now, first of all, it was complete fluke and accident that I even found it. That's number one. Because it's a pay-per-view and you have to buy it. Don't ask me how I got it. But I ended up watching it last night. I don't remember paying for it, but if I get a bill in the mail, I'm going to know. But I watched WrestleMania, and can I tell you guys something? It was actually really good.
Oh.
I really, really enjoyed it. Especially the main event was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But it was a remarkable show with a lot of star power, a lot of great wrestling, very little talking, if any. In fact, there was no talking.
Wow, that's a shocker for one.
Yeah, no kidding. It was a shocker because they went right into wrestling. I guess, when you're paying for that kind of money, for a wrestling event. And I don't know what it cost because, again, I didn't pay for it.
Right.
I ended up getting it free, and I don't know how or why. But we'll talk about that in a minute too. But it was on the Peacock network. Maybe you know what? I just answered my own question.
That's right.
I have the Peacock network. So now I know why I got WrestleMania. Because I already paid for the Peacock channel. And I watched this last time thinking, this is really good. I'm missing a little something, but I thought about it. The more I watched, the more I realized something. I haven't watched wrestling in 7, 8 years, right?
Wow.
And nothing changed. The storylines were exactly the same last night as they were 6, 7, 8 years ago. I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
Bianca Belair and Asuka and Cody and oh my God, Jesus, oh God, and Roman and Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, all these these names. They're all there.
Yeah, they were upcoming back then, and now they're like the superstars now.
Yeah, kind of really, if you think about it, because there are a lot of guys that I noticed that used to be in NXT.
Yes.
That are now in the main company. And I did notice that, which was really, really interesting, that they actually got a pretty damn good little roster going right now.
Right.
I might want to start watching wrestling again. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I started watching the AEW at first when it started, like brand new,
Like
and
5 years ago. Yeah, right.
yeah, and then I kind of like just started watching it, and I'm like, whoa, what is this? This is pretty interesting, and I was
Yeah,
like, this is really, really good. Whoever started this is really doing a great job. And then
yeah,
I was like, and then whenever they had COVID, and then they had people watching it, it just like just the wrestlers themselves were coming out to the ring, at least
yeah.
clapping because it was just
Horrible. It was
them.
horrible.
And I was like, "Whoa, you could actually hear the slams and the hits," and I was like, "Wait a minute, this is not right." But once they started to
Yeah.
get the fans back in there, I was like, "Well, this is really, really good."
It needed people.
Mhm. Yes.
Wrestling is a spectator sport.
Mhm.
You cannot do wrestling
No.
in a studio, an
No.
empty studio like that.
Mm-mm.
Like what WWE did was they
Mhm.
put, I gotta laugh,
Mhm.
they put pictures
Mhm.
on seats
Yeah.
and then they put computer monitors on seats. Like,
Mm-mm.
it's like, are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
This is what you do? This is your audience? No.
Mhm.
Back in the day, Amelia, when I was a kid, which is a long
Mhm.
fucking time ago, they used to have the audience. I'm not even making this up. I swear
Mhm.
to you, I'm not making this up. Go look if you think I'm lying.
Mhm.
The audience was painted on the wall,
Mhm.
and there were seats in the studio, like
Mhm.
2 rows of seats around the ring.
Mhm.
Like on each side, there were 2 rows, right?
Right. Mhm.
And around behind the seats was the walls were painted with people.
Wow.
Go on,
Mhm.
go on. I'm wanting you to do this. I want you
Mhm.
to go on YouTube after the show
Okay.
and type in studio wrestling.
Studio wrestling. Okay. I'm gonna write
Studio
that down. Don't
wrestling.
forget that.
Okay. You can't make this up.
Mhm.
Okay. It's just too fucking funny. It really, really is.
Well, I remember when
Um,
San Antonio, when they first started, they had maybe at least 4 or 5 rows on each side because it was a small studio for
yeah,
Southwest
exactly. It
Championship
was the
Wrestling.
TV studio. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all done in little television studios in your
Hmm.
local town.
Oh yeah, really,
We
really
had them
small.
here in Philly. They were in New York and Chicago and
Hmm.
Texas, Florida.
Hmm.
That what's where they started really was Florida.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I mean, just 'cause it was a way for the promoter.
Hmm.
First of all, it was cheap back in the day.
Oh yeah.
It was cheap to get like a small local TV studio.
Hmm.
Sometimes they would just give it to you and say, yeah, go ahead, whatever.
Oh yeah,
You know,
because I remember going to wrestling and the seats. I mean, you could buy ringside seats, and then you could get. I remember general admission was like $5 or $1 back then. I
yeah,
mean, that was.
it
I
was
remember those.
cheap. Wait a
Mhm.
minute, $5 could get you a ringside seat at Madison Square Garden
Mhm. Mhm.
in 1963. That's what it cost.
Yeah.
Ringside at the Garden for five
Mhm.
bucks.
Mhm.
General admission was a quarter.
Yeah.
Can you imagine paying a quarter
Mhm.
to see Bruno wrestle Buddy Rogers?
Mhm. Yeah, my dad used to tell me, he's like, "Yeah, I
Oh,
remember when
Leon's
this was
going.
a
Hey,
set."
Leon's here.
And he used to say, "Oh, you remember? I'm going to take you to watch wrestling." And I'm like, "What is that, Daddy?" And he's like, "Don't worry, you'll like it." So ever since I was like, remember I was
Amelia,
4 years old.
our
Mhm.
friend Leon is back.
Oh,
Leon in
hello.
Garfield. Leon, you remember? He remembers what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
Mhm.
The studio used to be like painted people.
Mhm.
It was the funniest thing you ever saw. So funny. Atlanta, TBS. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
TBS was great because that's kind of like where. Don't forget, you got to remember, Ted Turner was a big
Ted
wrestling fan,
Turner, yes. Mhm.
and wrestling created the Turner Broadcasting Company.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
now he's worldwide. That's why Ted Turner never forgot wrestling.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Leon, you know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, that was the thing, man.
Mhm.
That was the thing. Tonight, Amelia, let's talk about something that brings us to the dance tonight. Is the 27 Club something
Yes.
we've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Mhm.
Now,
Absolutely.
tell everybody a little bit about the 27 Club.
Yes. It's
Lay the groundwork.
it's a lot of actors, performers, famous artists that have died at the age of 27, but not by their willingness. It's something that they've died accidentally or tragically that's happened to them.
Yeah.
But this is a club that they didn't really want to join. They were actually just forced to join, basically.
Yeah.
And not a club
The
that you want to belong to.
interesting thing is that you say something very, very crucial that people don't understand, and like you say, and it's absolutely true what you said,
Mhm.
that they died, but not of their own willingness.
Correct.
Here's what has happened in so many of these cases. For example, everybody says Amy Winehouse killed herself. She committed suicide. She did not.
No.
Okay. Amy Winehouse is a case that I'm very familiar with because I studied it. Amy Winehouse had a great, great day the day she died. She wasn't feeling good that night. So she went in to lay down. She took a couple of aspirins or whatever she took to go lay down and relax. And then she never woke up.
Mm-mm.
She never woke up. Her security guard checked on her. Said, okay, she's still in bed. She's still sleeping. So he's not going to go in and touch her and wake her up because,
Right.
some people don't want to be woke up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next day, it's getting to be 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon and she's still sleeping. So then he goes in and tries to wake her up and she's not moving.
Mm-mm.
She's not waking up. And then they called the ambulance and the police, of course. You always got to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she didn't die from an overdose. She died from whatever. I don't know. She was drinking a little wine.
It said alcohol poisoning, but I don't buy it.
They said, well, yeah, that's the thing. They said that she was drinking some wine
Mm-hmm.
and she took medicine with alcohol. And then they're saying, as you're right, they're saying alcohol poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
I never bought that. I always thought that she took something that she shouldn't have taken.
Mm-hmm.
I think she mistook a bad pill for aspirin.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I really believe, based on what she said that day, that she was looking forward to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. I think she had so many pills there, she thought she was taking an aspirin.
Right.
That turned out to be something that wasn't aspirin.
Or to more into my thinking mind, she was given something that she
Well,
was
and that
told
was
it was
another
aspirin.
thing. People weren't giving her things, and she would,
Trust them.
look,
100%.
they call it the Elvis complex, believe it or not.
Mhm.
There's a name for it. They call it the
Yeah.
Elvis complex. It's how do you protect somebody from themselves?
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
Okay. It's hard when you're around a celebrity to say no to them.
Yeah.
If
That's
somebody says, give me something, you're going to give it to them. Give me something for pain.
true. Mm-hmm.
Give me something for a headache. Give me something to help me sleep. That's what happened with Elvis.
Yes. How many milligrams would you like? How many times a day would you like
exactly.
this? Mm-hmm.
How much do you want and how strong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so with Amy, I think, and the more I looked at her case, the more I felt bad for her. I really, really did, because she was a sad, broken young woman who never had love in her life. And it's really kind of sad to think about that.
And she was in such high demand by the public that she wanted to please everybody, but she was only one person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other one is very similar to that. Was a guy named John Bonham.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember the group Soundgarden.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. John Bonham was an amazing performer. Had just got off the phone with his wife. He told his wife, I love you, kiss the baby for me. I'll be home in a couple days. He goes to bed, right?
Mhm.
And he's dead within an hour. Within an hour of saying goodnight to his wife, he died.
Mm.
Okay? How? How?
I
What happened?
That is like the biggest mystery
Nothing
is
in his stomach,
mm-mm,
right?
right. That could
Wasn't
be,
drugs, nothing in his stomach.
yeah, nothing could be detected basically. So it had to have been something that was given to
Exactly. Nothing
non-detected.
could be detected.
Hmm.
You'd think it would be easy enough to detect drugs in your system, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
With all the sophisticated testing they have,
Yes, everything.
they could not detect any drugs in that man's system. What they did find is that he had bruises on him.
Mm.
We're going to talk about that actually next week when we talk about Bob Saget,
Hmm.
because that's an interesting case.
Yes, that is going to be something that people didn't think about, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, him all of a sudden with
Yeah,
the.
because there's video of him less than an hour before he died.
Hmm.
Interestingly enough, his family won't let it out.
It makes you
Some
wonder
people have
why.
already, well, some people have already seen it.
Hmm.
Okay. But then quickly, social media got shut down and the family said, pull that video.
Hmm.
And they did. And they had help from the cops and Facebook and other people.
Hmm.
Yep. They pulled that shit real quick. But you don't talk about a guy like John Bonham, Bon Scott from ACDC, Freddie
Hmm.
Mercury, of course,
Hmm.
Queen. You're going to see a list tonight. In fact, I'm going to show you right now. This is the 27 Club. This is just some of the people.
Some of the people.
You remember Stephen King's movie called It about the crazy
Yes.
clown?
Yeah.
Jonathan Landis. He played the character
Hmm.
in that movie that Richard Thomas played as an adult.
Mm.
Okay? Jonathan Landis was also in a movie called The Three Ninjas.
Hmm.
Okay. Freddie Mercury, John Bonham, Tupac Shakur, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls,
Hmm.
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Bon Scott, AC/DC, Jim Morrison, Robert Johnson, the guitar blues, the guy at the crossroads, Amelia, remember? He sold his soul to
Yes.
the devil.
Hmm.
How did he die? Somebody shot him, right?
Yes.
He didn't kill himself. Somebody
No.
shot him.
Yeah.
Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones, the founder of the
Hmm.
Rolling Stones, Brian Jones. Alan Blindell Wilson, Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys,
Hmm.
Ronald Pigpen McKeenan, Dave Alexander from Iggy Pop and the Stooges,
Hmm.
artist Pete Ham, and Dennis Dale Boone from the Minutemen. That's just
Just to name a few.
that's just what we could do. Okay,
Hmm.
we've got more,
Oh
a
yes.
lot more. Amelia's got a quite a little list there. We've got here you
Yes.
go. We got more. We got Chris Bell. Chris Bell from the Star Band. He was the vocalist.
Hmm.
Jean-Michel Basquiat, the famous artist,
Hmm.
27. Mia Zapata, the punk rocker. She was with the Gits. Kristen Paff, guitar player.
Hmm.
Randy Stretch Walker, another guitar player. Jeremy Michael Ward, a musician. Um, let's see. Who else you got there, Neil?
We also have let's see let's see Richie Edwards as well. He was a lyricist, guitarist
Yep.
from Manic Street Preachers. We also have Benjamin Keogh, of course, Elvis Presley's grandson,
Yep.
that just recently passed away.
Suicide.
Suicide.
27 years old.
Rodrigo Bueno, car accident. Cecilia, car accident. She was a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Amar Singh Chamaka murdered. He was a singer, songwriter, musician, and composer.
Yep.
Louis Chavian, he was a ragtime musician. Let's see. We also have, let's see. I don't know if you mentioned Pamela Corson. She died of a drug overdose, long term
Yep.
companion of Jim Morrison and heir to his estate.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
don't know if you about that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Malcolm Hale, he died of carbon monoxide
The
poisoning.
Morrison thing
Mm-hmm.
goes deeper than just Jim Morrison and his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
because there were people connected to Jim Morrison that
Mm-hmm.
all were part of, I call it, the 27 curse.
The curse, yes.
Yeah, the curse.
Anybody that was attached to
They
him.
died at 27.
Mm-hmm.
People connected to him.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Even
people connect. Kurt Cobain.
Yes.
Now, Kurt Cobain looked older than 27.
Yes, he did. Everybody
And
thought
a
that he was
lot of
older
these
than that.
people did. A lot of them looked older.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like what we're talking about here. We're talking about people who they travel all the time, which that will make you old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that will make you feel real old. You're traveling all the time. You're in and out of hotel rooms. You're sleeping in strange beds. Sometimes you're sleeping with strange people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're sleeping with people you don't know, or where they've been or who they've been with. It's the rock and roll lifestyle, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I hate to be blunt, but this is blunt talk.
Mm-hmm.
And we did, thank God, we issued a disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you're gonna have bag under your eyes. You're not gonna have any good
Amelia,
sleep. You're gonna have horrible.
Why gonna make you feel like shit?
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
You're not gonna eat well. Everything like that. You're not gonna have.
Absolutely not.
No.
Nope. You're not. You're not going to be 100%. That's just the way it is. You're just not going to be.
Right. And even though we're speaking from a list that we have here, every day this list grows and grows and grows.
Absolutely. So give everybody a little history of some of, because you brought an interesting list to me, but I want you to take that list. The list we have is interesting, folks, in that it's a list of references of the 27 Club in other songs, in other artwork, in other television and movies. This has been around the
right.
The 27 Club has been referenced for a long time.
Yes, it has.
Since the 1960s. At least the 1960s. Possibly, well, actually, we know it was prior to the 1960s because
I
Robert
believe in
Johnson,
1940 something. I believe.
No, actually, a little earlier than that. I believe the late 30s, early 40s.
Because of the crossroads.
Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson was a blues guitarist who sold his soul to the devil to be able to play brilliantly, because everyone said Robert Johnson, he can't play shit. He can't play the guitar. Who do you think he is?
Yeah.
Well, the next time they saw Robert Johnson, Amelia, he was playing like he'd been practicing his whole life.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he was born in 1911.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was born in 1911.
Yes.
Yeah, he had just a small following when he was alive, from what I understand. His talent became bigger.
After death, his legend grew. After death, his legend grew because everybody wanted to know who was this man who sold his soul to the devil to become great. People understand this. You can make a deal with the devil.
Yes.
But you got to read that fine print.
That's about that tiny too, and you have to really, really read it.
If the devil offers you a contract, you better fucking read it.
Oh, definitely.
I got news for you. That contract is not negotiable, and that contract is up whenever the devil says it's up.
Oh, absolutely, it is, because there's some lyrics that were written about that, and
Well,
and the
that's what I want you to do. I want
mhm,
you to tell everybody about some of the media influence.
mhm.
Talk about some of the
Yeah,
songs.
like for example, there was an an artist named Eric Burden that wrote 27 Forever lyrics.
Yep. Yep.
And one of them is On Your Way to Fame and Glory. And it's a lesson to learn, a path will burn. And here's the chorus. You'll sell your soul to the devil to stay at this level and be 27 forever. Others might get a taste of what we really have to face. Awake from an endless sleep, you're hurting all over. That's just the
And
chorus of
yep.
one of
And
them.
Eric Burden, who
Hmm.
wrote that, is the lead singer of Eric Burden and the Animals.
That's just part of that chorus.
Their songs include House of the Rising Sun,
Hmm.
which is their claim to fame, and of course
Yes.
27.
Hmm.
Let's take a look. Well, no, before we take a look, I
Hmm.
want you to go ahead and continue with some of that because
Right.
you're into some good stuff here. So continue.
Yeah, and then of course John Craig, song 28, he wrote about Jim Morrison, Miami County Prison, looking out window at the barbed wire fence, singing "This Ain't For Me," this rock and roll scene. I should have written poetry on a farm out in France. And then he goes on to say Janis Joplin, one foot in the coffin, left that theater rocking. She walked out on the door. She put the head in her hands. She said, I've given all I can. I drained myself for these fans. I've never been this dry before.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he referenced Kurt Cobain. He
Yep.
said, in this shed in the rain, stomach full of pain, eyes growing dark. I'm losing control. I'd have moved down to San Francisco, like candles all at all my shows, and switched to acoustic guitars
Yeah.
because
Listen
this
to
will.
this one. This is
Hmm.
pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Let me throw your attention to this one.
Hmm.
There's a band called Magenta, and I know who
Hmm.
they are.
Yes.
Okay. In 2013,
Hmm.
they featured an album called, you ready for this?
Hmm.
The 27 Club.
Hmm.
That was the name of their album.
Yes.
But what they did in this album was interesting because they dedicated a track
To
on
all of
the
the
album
artists, right?
to each artist that
Hmm.
was on the 27 Club list up to that point.
Yes.
And Magenta's um let's see their song,
Hmm.
what was it here? Let me see. Oh, their album The 27 Club
Hmm.
referenced the club directly.
Yes.
Each track is a tribute to a member of the club. The song Long Live Rock and Roll
Long live rock and roll.
from
Yes.
their 2013 album called Daughtry's
Long live rock and roll.
Baptized
Hmm.
referenced the club with the lyrics, they're forever 27,
Hmm.
Jimmy, Janis, and Brian Jones.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
the
Daughtry
other one,
actually was on the American Idol 1 year. Hmm.
here we go. The song 27 Club by Ivy Levin,
Hmm. I have that
released
one
as
here.
a promotional single. Yep, you got that one too, right?
Hmm.
On the 2015 album called No Good, refers to the 27 Club in detail.
Hmm.
And that's again Ivy Levin.
Hmm.
And that was in 2015.
Hmm.
Um, and Ivy is a woman,
Hmm.
and she again wrote, you know, poignant. I want to say I'll use that word.
Oh yes.
Poignant lyrics about the 27 Club. Now, I want people to understand, William, and we have to talk about this because
Oh, absolutely yes.
the some of these people that are writing 27 Club songs,
Hmm.
some of them are not wholesome.
Hmm.
Some of them are not paying tribute. Some of them are telling you
Hmm.
to join the 27 Club. In other words, they're encouraging you to hurt yourself.
Yes, they are, and a lot of
Okay.
people are like really, really listening to this. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing
And you got to wonder who are they? Remember what we said before.
this? Hmm.
Who was heaven's minister of music.
Oh, the Rain Man. That's why I looked and see if I could find
Exactly.
the Rain Man, and I could not
The
find the reference.
devil. The Rain Man is the devil.
Mm-hmm.
The devil was heaven's ambassador of music.
Exactly.
Okay, why does the music industry love the devil so much? Because he's one of their own. He's a musician.
Mm-hmm.
People don't fucking get that. What do you think they do this for?
Yeah.
With the devil horns.
Yeah. Tribute to
That's
him.
not, there's rock and roll. They go like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is? It's hail rock and roll, hail Satan, hail the devil.
Mm-hmm.
But the devil provided all of these names on this list here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
They sure did.
These people are dead because they followed that. Because they did what they had to do. Long live rock and roll. Well, guess what? Rock and roll is still alive, but you're not.
Right. And everybody else is going to be there to enjoy it, but you.
Hey, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to be there. And also,
Millie, what else you got there? Tell everybody else what you got.
And also, there was
fascinated by this stuff.
And also, there was the Mona Lisa twins released Club 27 on their album called, get this, Orange.
Yes.
Orange.
Why is that important?
Because it has a reference to, again, the devil, the color orange.
Yeah. Not only the devil, but it also references the Rain Man.
The Rain Man, exactly.
Orange.
Orange
is a huge color. Mm-hmm. Don't ask me why. I don't get it. Orange is a huge color among the satanic community.
Yes.
You know what? We got to figure that one out. We got to find out.
Yeah, that's going to be another one of mine. That's going to be. I'm going to do it. We're going to do a show about that one too. I believe
we're going to do. We want to find. We're going to revisit the Rain Man at some point and find out what the whole thing with the orange is. Mm-hmm. What else you got for me, kid?
And also too, it's like a cartoonist also created a comic series from Mad Magazine, debuting and relaunched first issue 2018. Again.
Yes, I have that here, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Right here, I have that. Here we go. We got, here we go. There's another one, too. Mm-hmm. Here we go. The Blind Channel song, Dark Side, the finished entry for the Eurovision Song Contest, includes the lyrics like the 27 Club headshot. We don't want to grow up.
We don't want to grow up. They want to stay that age forever for some reason. It's like a popular age in hell for some reason too. And I think that has a lot to do with that too. And I think that's going to be another show that we're going to do regarding that.
Yeah, we sure the hell will.
Mm-hmm. And video games.
Well, hold on a second. I got one for you. You probably don't know this one. Mm-hmm. Pretty Reckless released a song called you got that one? Mm-hmm. Rock and Roll Heaven?
Yes, Rock and Roll Heaven.
2021 studio album. I love the title of this. It's called Death by Rock and Roll.
Death by Rock and Roll. Mm-hmm.
The song is about the 27 Club and mentions explicitly in the lyrics Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Taylor Momsen, who wrote the song after falling into depression from the death of her producer, Chris Cornell, who also died.
Yes.
The latter of whom her band had opened the night before his death at the age of 27.
And also her producer, Kato Kandwala, also passed away as well.
Not only Kato, but right here we go. Kato Kandwala. That's how you say the name. That's of her producer, Kato Kandwala. Yep. So again, talking about the 27 Club directly affecting other people
with depression, anxiety, again, and it drives you. It's a lot of these bad emotions.
Of 27, folks. It's the curse of 27, and we can't explain it. Amelia and I could sit here all night and talk about it.
Yeah,
but don't ask me or her to explain it because we just don't fucking know.
And two, it's not just the comics, but it's also been put in video games. In the 2016 video game Hitman, get this, one of the in-mission games, Club 27
involves killing an indie musician who was celebrating his 27th birthday. Yeah.
Get that.
And that's why I said to you a moment ago, not all of these things are wholesome here.
No, I mean, why would you want to do?
Because the devil loves company. The devil is a lonely guy. He's a miserable fuck.
Well, I want to invent a game that kills the devil. Can we do that one?
When you figure out how to do it, let me know.
Every little thing we get like a little crown or something.
Magazine. Cartoonist Luke McCary created the 27 Club comic series for Mad Magazine, debuting with its relaunch in 2018. The comic featured Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Brian Jones, Robert Johnson, Amy Winehouse, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain as paranormal pop stars, descending from rock and roll heaven to save the planet. Right? How about that shit? To save the planet with the aid of mortal medium Keith Richards. Amazing.
From what, themselves or
the series? I'm going to tell you in a second. The series continued its subsequent issues until Poetry Comics, the section in which the comics appeared, was retired upon the magazine's 2019 reformat. So what was the deal was it was supposed to be an ongoing thing, but thank God, I say that literally, thank God, the magazine was kiboshed before it got any further.
I think when you said God, I think he actually came down and said, you know what, that's it. I'm going to intervene. This is done. We're done. Yeah.
Well, listen, here's the thing. We all love music. We all wish we were some kind of star at some point. I wanted to be a rock and roll star. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to in the worst way.
Me too.
But not that bad. You still want to be famous, okay?
Well, I wanted to be a country singer since I was 4 years old, but
you want to be the queen of TikTok duets. I know what you want.
No, not that bad. But
well, you're doing pretty damn good. You got about 13,400 of them up there right now.
But
go check Amelia's TikTok, everybody. She's got more duets than any human being on TikTok. I swear to you.
I wanted to be a country singer since I was 4 years old, and I wanted that so bad. But you know what? Not that bad. Not to be a part of a 27 club or any kind of club.
I came out of the womb singing and dancing. Okay, let me tell you something. I wanted to be famous from the time I could walk. I'm not even kidding. My parents, thank God, my uncle always had a video camera going. I mean, not a video camera, a movie camera.
I want to see some of those videos.
Back in my day, it was a movie camera, 8mm, 16mm movies, which his son still has, by the way. And his son is 69 years old. But he still has these movies. And there I am, 4 years old, 5 years old, doing impressions of Groucho Marx and oh God, who the hell else? And Elvis Presley and doing famous impressions when I was a little kid.
Oh, they got me singing.
All I knew was I was making the grown-ups laugh.
They got me singing Sylvia songs.
Right?
Yep.
So, but let's take a look. I'll tell you what, because I could talk about this.
Do you want to do the commercial before we show them show and tell?
Oh my God, yes. Thank you. This is the second week I almost forgot. Folks, we on here because of the kindness of people like Manscaped. Check it out. Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com. And the Lawnmower 3.0, your balls will thank you. And so will we. We are back on Blunt Talk Radio. What's the Buzz presents Blunt Talk Radio, America's Popcast. Amelia, we're talking about the 27 Club tonight, the infamous 27 Club. Who else is on the list that we haven't, maybe we missed? Everybody knows the famous ones like Janis and Jimmy, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, of course, Amy Winehouse. Let's talk about some of the lesser known people. Let me mention a name to you. In fact, I'm going to throw it up here on the screen. Here we go. Let's mention. Here's a name for you: Ronald Pigpen McKinnon. You ever heard of him?
No, not really.
He was a rock and roll guitarist. Died at 27. Died in his sleep. You're going to find that's a recurring theme here.
Well, I just found
people are dying in their sleep.
So he was. I found him as a guitarist for the Grateful Dead. I just saw that.
That's exactly who he is. Yeah. Let's talk about David Alexander from Iggy Pop and the Stooges, who also died in his sleep. Pete Ham, artist Pete Ham. Dennis Boone. Dennis Dale Boone from the Minutemen. He was a vocalist and guitar player for the Minutemen.
Wow.
The Beach Boys. Dennis Wilson, Brian Wilson's younger brother. He drowned. Now, here's the funny thing about that. He was a surfer.
Really?
And wait a minute. It gets better. Not only was he a surfer, but he was an expert swimmer. He drowned.
But how
do you explain that one?
Unless he had drugs in his system?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
But if he was such an expert swimmer, then I don't...
Interesting, ain't it? Well, tell me, how do you think he drowned? What they're saying is that the surfboard hit him in the head. There's a problem with that theory because he didn't have any injury on his head.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. If he was such an expert, no injury, that would have been.
He was a serious surfer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he won competitions, this kid.
That doesn't make sense to me. That sounds like murder to me.
Well, you're not the first person that said it. We should also say there's a connection here to another guy that started things when he was 27, interestingly enough. A guy named Charlie Manson.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yep. Dennis Wilson was friends with Charlie Manson. Interesting. It's also very interesting that Charlie Manson was 27 when he started his cult.
Another 27.
But here's the thing, though. These people are dying at 27. Charlie resurrects himself at 27.
But he was evil.
But is there a connection there?
Yeah, I would say so.
We can certainly make the point for it for sure.
And also,
you won't get an argument out of me.
And also, what I also came across was Chris Austin. He died in a plane crash. He was a member of Reba McEntire's band, but a lot of people died in that plane crash. But what got me is that he passed away, but he also, a lot of people had to die, and in that plane crash for him to die as well, which made no sense to me.
You know I know about that one. Yeah, that's not so cut and dry. There's a show in that one. We're actually going to talk about that at some point. Again, in continuing with our message, Amelia and I every week want to reinforce to everyone: be a buddy, not a bully. We are on an anti-bullying campaign on this show. We did a show dedicated to anti-bullying, but that's not enough for Amelia and I. We're going to be here every show. We're going to be here, and we're going to tell you: be a buddy, not a bully. Thank you to our Moonchild. Did I get that girl's name right?
Yeah.
Is it Moonchild?
Yes.
Okay, Moonchild.
I'm just gonna go because of today. I got my.
Oh, here we go. Anton LaVey.
Oh.
Leon, you must be psychic, brother, because I got news for you. He's one of the shows we're doing in a couple of weeks. We are doing a show on the founder of the Church of Satan. Anton Zandar LaVey is the man who wrote the Satanic Bible. He said he wrote every word of that Bible inspired by Satan himself. He said that Satan gave him the words to write in that Bible. I'm not even making this up. This Anton LaVey was also not only a musician, but an incredibly talented musician, singer, songwriter, composer. You name it, this guy could do it musically. He could do it. He was good.
And if you want his book, you better have $127 to get it.
Oh, wait a minute now. Hold on a second. I got one for you. You like music, right, Amelia?
Yes.
Did you ever hear the song Hotel California?
I was going to tell you about that one.
You were? What are you going to tell me about that?
Well, we were going to talk later about doing this show, but you beat me to it.
No, I'm going to tell you about it because you're lying through your teeth, and I know you are.
No, because I was going to.
I'm calling her out.
No. I was going to tell you
why
about.
I'm calling her out because I know Amelia. I love Amelia. She's a wonderful person.
That was on my list.
Listen to me. You got to be quiet when I'm putting you down. Hold on a minute.
I'll show you my list. I have my list written down.
Hotel California. Just let me get this out.
Okay. I'll show you my list.
Before I hit you with my papers. Hotel California was written about Anton LaVey. And the night that he spent it was literally called the Hotel California. Doesn't exist anymore. But Leon, if you're there, can you validate that what I'm saying is true? Anton LaVey was the catharsis for Hotel California. Just want to make sure that I got my wires on the same circuit board here. And I think I do, Neil. I think I do. I want to wait for Leon to.
Yeah, I heard rumors about that, but
yeah. So what were you going to say before I rudely cut you off?
No, I actually have that on my list to do a show on that because you want me to add to the list of our shows. That was on my list. I added to it, and I will show it to you.
Oh, you did?
Yes, and I'm not right. Anything?
How convenient.
Okay. How convenient. I'll get you for that.
How convenient.
You see that people would have to do
I know this. Listen, folks, I know this woman. I adore her. She's a crazy person. God bless her husband, Jeff, who has to live with this nut job.
Yeah.
Anita,
are you listening?
Anita's probably sleeping on the couch. And if she's not, she's certainly not watching my show. She's probably on TikTok watching your duets, as a matter of fact.
I love you.
She does watch them, She really does. Yeah, she goes. You come through her feed on, TikTok. She spends a lot of time. My wife spends a lot of time on TikTok watching a hot dog vendor in Baltimore named Musa. Now, I don't know if you know who Musa is.
I've heard of the name.
He's a hot dog vendor. He's from, I think he's from Pakistan, or Turkey or Greece or someplace not here. But he speaks with a very thick European accent. He sounds maybe Turkish or Greek, right? Nice guy, wonderful guy, funny guy. But he sells hot dogs, all beef hot dogs, in accordance with his religious beliefs. So there's no pork in these hot dogs. Like you're not going to get a hot dog made from a pig. They're all beef.
Yeah. A lot of people believe in that too. It's like you might as well just sell something.
First of all, it's healthier for you. Because you don't know what they put in fucking hot dogs.
No, you don't.
I'd be afraid to ask, to be honest with you.
Well, not only that
Um,
too, because it says pork, chicken, and some other stuff. If you buy it
and
like
yeah,
from,
some other stuff, tongues,
hmm
lips,
yeah,
assholes.
you don't know what's in it. So
Yeah, you
yeah.
don't know what's in it.
Hmm.
Probably some cock and balls too. You know what the fuck. Anyway, Mel, what we got coming up next? Oh, tomorrow night, what do we got coming up?
Tomorrow, you actually brought a show to my attention, actually, with Dan Ely, actually.
Dan
And
Ely is a guy. Listen, imagine this, folks. Imagine this. You're going about your business. You live in Tennessee around Nashville, all right?
hmm
Right around the Nashville
hmm
area. And you're going about your business one day and you're walking down the driveway to a local place in Tennessee, and all of a sudden
oh,
a car pulls up
yeah.
and rolls the window down,
hmm
and you're staring face to face with a beetle.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, and
uh,
you're looking face to face with Paul
hmm
McCartney
hmm
and his wife, Linda McCartney, and they're at Junior's farm in Nashville, Tennessee.
hmm
And you're like, dude, you're
What?
Paul McCartney. What are you doing here?
hmm
Well, I'm cutting a record, man. I'm cutting a record. I'm Paul.
hmm
I have to do that because I'm Paul, and Paul cuts
hmm
records. That's my horrible impression of Paul McCartney, folks. Horrible. Sound more like Tom Jones than Paul McCartney. Here, ladies, how are you? Anyway, I got to get Steve McCoy to do that one. My friend Steve McCoy is the Tom Jones impersonator. Does a hell of a British accent.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. But so you run into Paul McCartney. Like, how the hell does that happen?
hmm
And not only Paul McCartney, but you run into Denny Lane.
hmm
Really? And not just keep running into them, and they invite you to come to a show,
hmm
and you go to the show and you hang out with him, and he becomes your friend.
Yeah, like best
And
pals.
you give him a guitar, and he says, "No, I can't take that. It would be silly of me to take that. Well, give it to me."
I know. I
If
was
you're
like,
watching
thank you.
Dan, if you still have that Rickenbacker bass, I'll take it.
hmm
Okay, I will take it because Paul touched it. I'll take it.
Right?
And I happen to know that he played it a little bit.
hmm
That I happen to know. I don't even know if Dan knows that. I don't know if Dan knows that. But Paul did play that guitar.
Oh yeah, they're gonna give something away that they actually touched and
Oh
played,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. But Dan Ely will be here tomorrow night to talk about what it's like to meet a legend, a real life, live, breathing, living legend, Paul McCartney,
hmm
in Nashville, Tennessee. And by the way, they met again all these years later, and Paul remembered him.
Wow.
And Denny Lane was with him last month.
Hmm.
How about that shit after all these years?
All right.
Okay. Making friends with a Beatle. I want to be Paul's friend.
hmm
By the way, to those of you who are expecting me to be at Beatle Fest this weekend, something came up this weekend, and all of my 2 months of planning went down the shitter. So, Debbie Greenberg, who owned the Cavern Club, will in fact still be a guest on this show, only she will be live from her home in Liverpool.
Hmm.
So that show will be done in the afternoon, and we will show that in the evening
hmm
because there's a 5 hour time difference
Oh,
between
wow.
here. Yeah, they're 5 hours ahead of us in England.
Mm.
And so you and I were going to do that show, Amelia,
hmm
but we're not going to do it live, obviously, because you have work during the day.
hmm
Unless you have a day off, then we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, we could do it. You could take a day off, and we'll do it. I'm not suggesting you play hooky. Wink, wink.
After the day I had today, I'll take it. I'll take a few
Wait a
days
minute.
off.
Look at my camera, folks. I'm not suggesting, Amelia, that you take the day off. Okay, wink, wink. Okay.
Right?
If you happen to have the day off, wink, wink,
Right.
okay, we'll make it work. Anyway,
Right. Mm-hmm.
what else we got coming up? Tell everybody what else is going on. Is that it?
We should probably end with our little video you were going to show, and then end
Oh
the
yeah, because
day.
I'm going to show this video
Mm-hmm.
as we close out the show as a way of paying tribute
Yes.
to the 27 Club.
And
Before we do that, a very important programming note for next Monday.
mm-hmm.
I believe it's next Monday. We are going to, Amelia and I are going to dig into the tragic, sudden death of stand-up comedian, television star Bob Saget.
Yes, it will be next Monday.
Next Monday. And next Tuesday, Amelia and I are going to do a very interesting show. It's called Working the System. And it's a show about people who grow up in families that learn how to work the welfare system, the medical system, how they play games with names and numbers, how they lie to get things. We might do that next week, or we might do a show on runaway parents. That's becoming a very big thing in this country.
It is.
Parents that are running away from their children. Remember when you were a kid? I'm near you, Mom. I'm going to run away from home.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it's the parents that are running away for real and leaving the kids at home. I'm not even shitting you.
To fend for themselves, to starve.
To fend for them. And this is a real epidemic, a real problem. It's deadly serious because children are dying.
Yes.
Okay? Children aren't meant to raise themselves. Parents raise children.
Yes.
And when parents can't, ask for help.
Yes.
Please ask for help.
Or they're leaving their children.
There's always somebody to help, folks. There's always somebody to help. You don't have to do it. There are crisis centers. There's a really small, interesting phone number you can dial. It's called 911. It's not just for emergencies. They can get you help. You understand me? Call, ask for help. Call us at the show. Call me here. You know, call Pastor Steve. We have a guy on the show. His name is Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. He is, Amelia, tell everybody how great Pastor Steve is.
He is a fantastic guy. He will give out his number and help you. Even though he lives in New Jersey, he will help you. No matter what state you're in.
He doesn't care where you are either.
Does not matter what state you're in. And he said to call him anytime.
Yep.
Anytime.
Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. His number is, I'm going to put his number up on the screen now.
I tell you, anytime that I've asked to speak with him, he's been there. And I've spoken with him here live. And he's been there for me every time. And he's given me the best advice. And he's even told me, Amelia, anytime you need me, please call me. And he has chickens, and he gives away eggs, gives them away.
Oh, can I tell you something? I was there Wednesday night for Bible study. Folks, she's not lying. He's got 10 chickens, and they give away eggs. There's his number. Pastor Steve, 856-896-5332. Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski from Union Church. And that's his phone number, and I want you to call him. Let me put his last name up here. I want to put his last name up, Amelia.
Yes. And I got to see a little bit of his Sunday service Sunday, and I could just see the 2 rows from the camera, and there was a lot of people in the first 2 rows, and I couldn't see the back.
Yes.
There was a lot of people.
There's Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski. Pastor Steve is 856-896-5332. If you have a problem, if you cannot cope, if you need help, call Pastor Steve. He will direct you to the right people. He will pray with you. He will take your phone number. He will get you help. I promise you he will. Okay? He is very connected to me and the show. I've
Very.
known Pastor Steve since he was 6 years old.
Hmm.
He's 40 now.
And for the short time I've known him, I feel like I've known him forever.
He's that kind of guy.
Hmm.
You feel like
He
you've
is.
known him your whole life.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
and I was at Bible study. I didn't lie. Everybody, if you saw
Mhm.
Bible study,
Yeah.
there I was. I
Yes.
even raised my hand and asked questions too.
Yes, he did.
How about that? I did the right thing.
Hmm.
Shut your mouth. Because I
No,
know you. You were
no,
getting
he
ready
said
to smart aleck me. I
no,
know
he
you.
said he was going to be there, and tell you what, he was there.
I was there. Yes, I
Mhm.
was.
Yep.
I had to say something because I know you. You're going to
I
smart aleck
didn't
me.
say anything, and I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, no, you did
Nope.
look good tonight. Okay, there you
Nope.
go. So listen, next show is tomorrow night. Dan Ely, the man who met Paul, and we'll see you tomorrow night for Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman.
Mhm.
I'm Angelo, Mad Dog DeCipio. Till tomorrow night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Mhm.